I know you're probably tired of hearing it, and I get that, but I am funded by Patreon, and I did lose a few patrons as of writing this. The support is truly needed. Link below if you'd like to help out. At least they both tried really hard to find her and didn't just let her leave, like I said at the end of the previous video. I know he's not leaving the crew obviously, but even this made me a little sad that now they're splitting up for a while as well. Man, I love this crew so much! I'm really glad, at least, that these three have managed to cross paths now. I love so much how the entire Zoro gets lost so easily thing has been turned into such a consistent joke recently. Another prime example of the animators doing an entire crowd by hand, all looking unique, and in this case, they even animated some as they spoke. That's really clever, and props to seeing Luffy shaking under the strain of it too. Two quick wins. Firstly, that was so well timed that suddenly he sticks his head over the bridge. Makes sense too, since he likely followed their scent. Secondly, it's another member of the team meeting back up at last. Oda continues his mission to make me feel as sorry for Usopp as is humanly possible. Two wins again. Firstly, it's Usopp showing just how far he's willing to go for the Going Merry by even offering up his tools to cover the cost. Secondly, I liked this dude. He's obviously a guy who knows how important a man's tools are, so doesn't even entertain the idea of taking them from him as payment. See, now I doubted myself for a split second when he said, "Hey, I sell stuff, I don't barter," and yet he heard Usopp's stomach growl, his determination, and still sold him stuff and worries here. Oda really plugging away at the feel sorry for Usopp arc, and my god is it working well on me personally. At the same time though, I've got to give him mad props. He's so hurt. Then he fought Luffy and got more injured, and yet he's doing all of this to fix his ship. I knew this dude was a legend. He's got that tough exterior, likely needed for that job, but under it all he's got a heart and he knows someone in need when he sees it. Got me choked up. I love stuff like that. I cut a few seconds from the middle, but essentially he wanted to wish him well, and then really wish him well. Bless this guy, seriously. Just got me feeling for my boy there. Thought I'd include it. It's interesting to see that perhaps when Franky has had some downtime and refueled, that he gets like this again, especially when he thinks about what happened recently, of course. He is a pretty cool looking character though, I must admit. No huge win, just fancy giving him one for confirming what I thought it was. I love Zoro, always will I think. He made it clear he didn't trust her all this time. In everything canon, he never got close to her at all from what I can recall. He sticks to his word. Has Zoro ever said a more logical but also cool and badass thing before? If I decide whether I believe her or not right now, it may slow down my reaction time in the moment if it's the opposite.
そいつに悪いことさせられてるんじゃないか、ロビンは。
Chopper being adorable at the end there, but more important is Nami once more using her head to figure out that all may not be as it seems. She's awesome at thinking outside the box.
ロビンを捕まえるんだ。じゃなきゃ何もわかんねえよ。
Glad this happened. I liked seeing Zoro get involved, as he doesn't do that often, but it's good to see Luffy take charge and make the final call, and for good reason too.
オーリーさん、もう無理です。この先裏町は危険です。ああ、引き上げよう。
Oda also did an amazing job of getting this in our minds the whole time. Members of the public warning people, scenes of people leaving their homes, and statements like this.
ところでおめえらどうした？何やってんだ？
私ら正面からの強風に。
I had wondered what it was they were doing. I thought maybe the path is narrow and it's because he's huge, but no. Good how the animators slowly changed the weather bit by bit after the reveal of the storm coming too.
なんだ、体もでけえが荷物もすげえな。
専用ベッドだ。
I don't know which is better, his offhand comment or that he's carrying a special bed in there.
で、どうなってるんだ？例の犯人。
So much life continues to be put into this world, and especially this city right now, with showing us the kids are used to this as they play games relating to what's happening. Also, as always, I can't see a crowd of legit, maybe 50 to 60 characters, all of whom look different, and just not give it a win.
隙間なく整列！ゴリラカンパニー！
They then go and give us a different crowd of everyone looking different again. I like that build-up, albeit a bit long to show. We saw 3 groups of people defending the place, and then the big guys right outside his door like this.
あれは悪魔だ。
No doubt now starting the process of deep diving on her character a little bit with this reveal as to why he keeps her wanted poster up in his office. Feels like such a cool secret mission going down with Chopper carrying Nami and Luffy doing the same for Zoro. This view of them and the city in the background at night looking so good. Those cheeky so-and-sos! I wondered what was with the extremely slow upwards panning shot, and it's because they wanted to trick me. This overhead look at the residential area and Iceberg's place. Also, though, a good look at all of the normal but still tough shipwrights watching out front.
どうだチョッパー、何か動きはありそうか？
Is it just me, or did this not feel like such an awesome secret mission to all of you when watching this too? Feels like a big mission out of an RPG or something.
どの口がそんなこと言うのかしら。
Context. Luffy said we must be careful, not dive in without a plan basically, and she does this. I loved the unique looking shot and extra animation involved, and it was funny too.
動きがあったらすぐ知らせろよ。
わかった。
Quick one for Chopper taking a big part in it too. Still remember the little guy being so afraid of all of them, or shy, and now he's truly one of them in every sense. Also a super easy win for the seriousness behind Zoro's words. This is for real. We mess up, we lose everything potentially, we also lose Robin, so do your job and do it well basically. Phew! What a lovely little critter, considering it only recently found him, and yet the little guy really loves him.
一体なんじゃろうな。遺言か！
2 very quick wins. 1, that was of course hilarious. And 2, nice art style change on that.
いいかパウリー。社長室のデスクの真下、金庫が埋まってる。
One would think that with all of the greatness Oda has already come up with for this arc, that more wouldn't be needed, and yet, here we are with more greatness.
了解した。CP9 の名のもとに。いいな、ニコロビン。
Not sure why, but the animators seem to really kick things up a gear this episode and the last, just doing these kinds of shots that clearly require more work than normal.
ええ、いつでも。
Part of me really hoped it wouldn't actually be her in the end, but alas, here she is doing it. By the way, just look how fantastic this scene looks. Everything about it really. Drink it in.
俺に任せろ。俺が仕留めてやる。こら待て。
I know they're against our crew due to getting the wrong end of the stick, somewhat anyway, but I like these lads, so it's tough to see their plan already showing deep cracks. With one small cut in the middle, that was pretty much one fairly long continuous motion shot where the scene never cut away from the action, shockingly. Nicely adding in the damage effects from the whip.
やめておきなさい。叶いませんよ、私には。
Introducing a new character at this stage is quite surprising, really. Someone with CP9 and currently Robin and the big dude.
あれルフィは
That was brilliantly done. I really didn't see that coming from Zoro reacting like that, but it was so damn funny.
何かする気だ。
I'm glad that they weren't this prepared and then saw him doing something and no one moved. Instead, they logically opened fire, which is perfect. Small win, but also how they don't all stop firing at the same time. So cool how it transitions from one fight scene over to the next location. Gets me pretty thrilled to see new tough characters suddenly. Clearly got a devil fruit ability too. Another small win, but the shipwrights having damage on them that looks as though it came from a whip. Probably the third or maybe even the fourth unique set piece we've been blessed with in this episode alone.
君にはその価値を見出せん。
So bad, but so good. Now I'm on their side fully, wanting him to take them out. It's bad though, because I doubt he can. Let's go! Jeez, I thought it was Robin and the other guy, not two others entirely. I'm shocked. Tiny win, but learning that CP9 stands for something was interesting.
いたような、いなかったような。
Clarity. He said, you must have come across our shipwrights and then seized this, meaning some have sadly been taken out most likely. I won't show it just in case, but the entire hallway is littered with people. Wow!
さあ押せ。
まさかそんなところから。
Yet another totally new and unique devil fruit ability on that! To be honest, part of me thought anything would suddenly jump out. Instead, he legit took another shot. This arc is truly something else, well on its way to being my favourite.
ことをしたな。麦わらにはやはりあいつは関わっていなかったか。
Easy win for him saying this, glad it was finally said.
とある船の設計図のありかがわからなくなってしまう。
Goodness me, yet another double winner, again another unique shot. Also, learning that the blueprints they all so badly want to take and be protected are for a ship of all things. Another small win, but I like how Chopper is running easy whilst they're really going for it, since he'd be a lot faster in that form.
屋敷正面のガードは今かなり手薄になってると考えて間違い
Not running around the corner on the spot. Their entire plan to get inside whilst hoping everyone is chasing Luffy is immediately dashed. A crowd so very large and hand-drawn, I had to show it first.
ちょ待って動けねえ。抜けて。
And perhaps the best joke in quite some time. Luffy got stuck between two buildings.
誰か救いだ社長室の寝室まで来てくれ声が全滅してる
Doing such a good job of continuing to show the entire operation crumbling at their feet, people being taken out, knocked around, and others yelling from distant areas about attacks.
何
Color me extremely shocked that these two were taken out so easily. I mean, for a dude whose ability is opening doors from walls, that's nuts, no? Now? Well, now I'm gaining a much better understanding of how he was able to take them out so easily.
動かんこの俺が力で負けるわけが。
him being taken out too. It was hard to see, more so because before he did it, he said, "This is your source of pride, isn't it?" Like he wanted to take that away from him. Chopper doing this just made me really smile. Getting to see Zoro get serious for the first time in a while, haven't seen that since G8 really, to this scale anyway. I've spent ages praising all of the big uses of her ability, or the very creative ones, but even little ones like this are amazing to me. Finally, I get a solid answer as to why she's been on the wanted lists from such a young age. Turns out she's the only one who can read those giant slabs she's looking for and learn the answer. I'm loving learning more about this and the fact that it goes back over 100 episodes, because this is the reason Crocodile was after it too. Robin learning this and it coming across as a great shock to her will hopefully open her eyes about what they're after. I hope so anyway. Talking about unique looking shots that have been used recently, this one is also right up there naturally. I can't believe two things. Firstly, how we're finally getting to learn about Robin and her background, and secondly, how well Oda planned the whole thing out and is executing it. People really shouldn't ever underestimate her and what she can do to react so quickly, disarm him, and hold him still at the same time. She's legit something else. Wait, what? New ad break with Robin alert. Also, it's a good one, can't lie, love that pan down. Luffy got free! What a legend! This is so intriguing, I swear. He's badly injured though, that's no lie, but yeah, it's so involved. I continue to remain in love with this story, more so all the time. Luffy arrived in the room. Never have I been so happy to date for him to plow right into a situation. Having said that, he also got stuck in the wall. I got 2 wins here. Firstly, of course, it's Luffy escaping from the wall moments before the attack here. Secondly, I like the continued seriousness from these people. It's quite fitting. They don't exchange lengthy dialogue with Luffy. Instead, they stare, then one attack suddenly. Awesome damage effects too. These guys don't mess around, and they're only using their legs so far, it looks like. Between this music and his words, I wanted to win how this really feels like a legit military type operation, and an amazing job is done of relaying that to the viewer. I'm hyped as hell for all this. These super strong foes appearing now in this arc. Again, like I said before, really moving the story along beautifully, I think. Getting even more hyped now. Luffy saying I'm strong and I can beat them, and now maybe fighting together with him. That moment of the facade breaking down. He's just worried about his friend and teacher and his leader, and at that he tears up. This will most likely be the thing to truly motivate Luffy here too. That emotional build-up there, aided by the music and their frustrations, just earned them max wins from me. It's the music. It's the music that really sold it. my god, you've got to be kidding me! He was in on it the whole time!
政府がおとなしく申し出とるうちに渡さんからこうなる。
I genuinely cannot believe this. In fact, it's a GLPT, a god level plot twist, and it gets max wins for it.
あなたを傷つけることなくこの街を思い出にしたかった。
No way am I including that with the last win and moving on. You get your own shocked win. I can't believe he managed to become surrounded by so many enemies all that time.
酒場のブルーノ。
At this, I literally don't even care. It's the guy from the bar with Frankie earlier. I'm blown away.
多くの犠牲者を出す前にお話しください。
And a final one for one of the best episodes yet. Great ending with potentially further violence being used against the people of the city if he doesn't give up the blueprints. My boy Frankie turning up on the scene, sadly looking for Usopp, but maybe, just maybe, might come in useful to fight these new foes soon.
荒れてきやがった。
Bless his heart as Usopp is still working hard to try and fix up the ship before the storm hits. Another classic version of a handy tool created by Usopp.
お前をさらいに来たのさ。
Poor Usopp can't catch a break. Not sure if I've ever felt so sorry for a character in a while. Example number 217 of no one being more cool than Zoro in the history of anime.
ゾロは強えな。
まあいいわ。さっさと行くわよ。
Chopper being so impressed here by Zoro is easily worth an adorable related win.
先導してるのにどうやって間違えたの今。
For context, they said quickly, Zoro this way, and he said, right, and immediately goes the wrong direction and gets told off. Brilliant to see him getting free one limb at a time, but also how realistic it is that he's pinging all over the place due to the force being exerted upon the limbs.
CP1 から CP8 まで世界に8つの拠点を持つ政府の優れた諜報機関。
Just learning this little bit of lore was pretty cool, to be honest.
我々は政府に対して非協力的な市民への殺しを許可されている。
The first time we gain an understanding that in spite of leading everything, they're not exactly good people. Doesn't mean there's not good guys like Smoker among them, but still.
いっそ兵器を呼び起こし、この大海賊時代に終止符を打つ正義の勢力にしようと。
Decent to learn why they're wanting to get a hold of it too, using it to suppress the world's pirates who are currently so strong.
あなたは政府を信用していないようです。
人間の差がを知ってるだけだ。小僧。
That's a pretty cool statement from him, I think, and it's still relevant around the world to this day and through history.
あなたの血が真相を教えてくれます。
You know you've got some seriously decent villains when they seem so in control of every situation, but it should make it all the more sweet when our crew arrives. It's a Zoro-related midway break segment! It's a Nami-related midway break segment! Also though, I liked seeing everything of importance to her, and the little propeller too.
うん十年じゃないれ。8年か。
If I'm right, that's a clever way of telling us that something big happened in her life 8 years ago that caused all this drinking. Obviously it's far too long to ever get away with showing too much of, but I wanted to give a win here as he goes through his thought process of what is real and what is fake here.
あなたがトムの弟子だということを割り出すだけでも一苦労したものだ。
Just quickly, I also enjoyed seeing Iceberg when he was a young up-and-comer in the shipwright business, training through all different weathers and whatnot.
いるかい。凶暴なトムの弟子カティ・フラムは死んだんだそうだ。
Ah, now it's starting to make perfect sense. How cool is that to link it to what I just wrote about?
カティ・フラムといえばわかると。
いや、追い返せ。
Oh my god, it's Frankie, isn't it? Amazing! Absolutely outstanding writing. As if everything he's already done wasn't good enough already, we get this twist in the story. Hats off to him.
古代兵器の設計図じゃん。
この先カティフラムの名は捨てろ。
So good. So good. Turns out, I strongly believe anyway, that Frankie has the blueprints and luckily he's tough. Let's go.
改めて思えば、最も怪しまれない距離を保った隣人といい。
What I'm loving about this is how he was expertly able to pull the wall over their eyes for 5 years. Like they had no idea that he didn't fully trust them at all. Another 2 quick wins. Clearly this ongoing joke has to score 1. Secondly, it's the fact that everyone is now inside the building. I love that. Between the 3 of them, it's only natural that they'd let Zoro go ahead due to him being the strongest, and of course she says to cut down the door. Luffy is so hard to direct when he's so angry, smashing into a random room. Easy max wins, plus a 3rd on the side. The fact that they both smashed into the room at the same time, the scream, and perhaps most of all the damage animation being outstanding. And the 3rd win on its own is purely the fact that they made it in time, thank goodness. Things were so tense there.
Luffy!
Zoro being shocked, but even more than that, importantly, Robin sounded like her normal self again due to being shocked as well to see him. He is seriously so cute. I have hope in my heart that Oda will give him a nice little quick ending by the end of the arc too. Imagine knowing how he feels. Like, our crew is bad enough seeing Robin there with them, but him looking upon his friends, knowing very likely that they attacked Iceberg? Wow. One more for that ending, especially because they mix together the end title, his exclamation, and the fact that the storm is moments from properly hitting with the wind sound. He really knocked it out of the park with his first words of this episode. Such anger in them.
そうだ。あいつら、お前と一緒にいた船大工だ。なあ。
Bless Luffy. I know it's confusing, but he's still a touch slow to the conclusion.
そういや、あの四角っ鼻知ってるぞ。
まさか。
Oh! This just made me think maybe their boat really isn't in such bad shape. Ultra hype if that's the case.
ちくしょう。てめえ、ちゃんと喋れんじゃねえかよ!
I love things like this because this is something he thought he knew about his friend. Yet even that simple thing turned out to be a lie. Ah, now it makes sense where the holes came from. I thought they were from a gun, not his finger. Half the win is for them explaining just beforehand about a new style of fighting, making them human weapons and as strong as 100 people, bit long to show though, and of course, these memories. I know she's a baddie, but still, she's also a baddie, you feel me? Great that Luffy stopped the attack, likely final attack he was about to do, but it makes me nervous how he seemed to stop it so easily.
なんだ、全然効かねえ。
Interesting that they can all do the same thing, turning their body to iron and parts of their body. It's like they're legit trained in it, which is insane.
違う。
It's shocking, so the win is partly for that, but it's also noted that it did not pierce his skin like it did number 1 over there. Sometimes he is so slow on the uptake, and then here he recovers for like maybe 1 or 2 seconds and instantly makes a plan to get him away from danger like that. He's something else.
なんでおめえがこんな奴らと一緒にいるんだ。出て行きたきゃちゃんと理由を言え。
It's great the way his brain works. He isn't like begging her to stay or anything. He's saying if you wanted to leave, at least tell us why.
私の願いを叶えるためあなたたちと一緒にいても決して叶わない願いを。
At long last, we finally get part of a reason of why she's doing this, but it's noted that she said, I said goodbye to you and Cook, so she feels something for them at least.
それで平気で仲間を暗殺犯に仕立て上げたのか。
Zoro is insanely well written. It's like he's never out of character. You'd think one day Oda might have an off session, but no, everyone is so well written all the time. Loved it so much, it's so adorable, and it means something to him as well. The doctor's bag and the trees he hoped to see take life on that island where they met Chopper.
本当にもう敵なのかロビン。
She did such a great job of relaying the pain in his voice as he says this.
それができればの話だな。
Nami being a badass there and prepping for battle alongside them.
ロビンの下船にゃ納得できたのか。
できるか。
Luffy really is loyal to a fault as he still cannot consider the notion of Robin leaving the crew.
またどこ行くんだよ。やっと見つけたのに。
来い。
It's quite sad when you hear Luffy talk like that. You can also hear pain in his voice too, and yet another person in his way forming a wall of sorts to bar access to her. It's insane, really. Haven't felt like this since we met NL. The mixture of attack, defense, and even evasion as shown here is off the charts.
空を蹴り浮くことさえできる。
Take another win for showing me that they are all the same. They all possess the same powers and abilities. I'm still so shocked. My god, Zoro is fantastic, isn't he? He saw it was a slashing attack and saved their lives. Finally, I get to see my boy in action.
残念ながら船の査定は真面目にやっ
Oh man, seriously? I just got done giving a win where I hoped they told a lie about it, but no, it was still true. To be honest, I don't care what comes next. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with him for even this long when everyone else failed terribly speaks to his abilities.
行くなロビン。まだ話は終わってねえ。
Continued subtle things like this, without the need for over-the-top exposition. Robin felt a tinge of guilt as she approached the window.
終わりよ。もう二度と会うことはない。
Damn shame to hear those words, but I'm guessing they won't come true. But luckily, none of you wonderful souls have ever spoiled me on anything. Bunch of legends. I love it. This guy is struggling against Zoro like nothing else. He even cut off the tops of his blades.
血が
Damn, so even Zoro ends up being taken out after removing his eyes for a split second. Still, he did really well though.
政府のために命を使う覚悟と人体の限界を超えるための訓練を受けてきた。
Learning at least a little bit of lore regarding how these people are so tough and what made them that way, since clearly this is far from normal. Also a second win incoming. It also makes me want to win how unique it is to now include this, since up to now it's been Devil Fruit users who are typically the strongest. This is something new now.
お前たちごときが手を触れていい山ではない。
Imagine all of the different angles of this room and the damage that's happened to it, and yet they've nailed it from every angle, even doing the painting numerous different ways.
でけえ。
Whoa. Maybe I was wrong about saying they're just normal people. Kinda seem anything but when he does this. What the hell? Yes, That's definitely anything but normal. I say again, what the hell?
猫猫の実
So to be clear, obviously I'm beyond shocked because he also has a fruit ability, but do they all have that? Or do they have an entirely different set of abilities alongside fruit ones too?
なんだその姿は
You can't hear it amazingly well, but they changed the music in the background to quite the creepy track for this reveal.
目覚ませみんな海賊どもの仕業か
Good to actually show rescue efforts and them getting out there in general, instead of just telling us later on, everyone got out safely or what have you.
アイスバーグさんは上はどうなってんだ行こう
Also nice is how they don't just flee, like they love Iceberg so much that they'd happily run into a burning building for him.
人間だかなんだか知らねえがアイスバーグさんには手出しさせねえぞ
In that same vein, you gotta give him a win too for doing the same thing. No one, other than Iceberg, is as injured as he is, and yet he still stands tall to protect his boss.
やばい肉食のゾーン系は凶暴性も増すんだ
鍛えれば鍛えるほどに力は増幅する
Chopper casually dropping us some much appreciated devil fruit lore out of nowhere.
観客
Probably the largest JoJo situation now overtaking NL. I mean, purely because there's lots of these guys, but still, should show you how worried I am about them. Two wins once more, Chopper saving Nami like this, easy win, it shows how much he's come to care for the crew. Next is the damage effects, all being top notch as the building comes down.
おやしなさいパウリー
Damn, just when you think he might have a quick moment to get him out of there, suddenly they're all stood there.
俺は少なくとも俺は今までずっとおめえらを仲間だと思ってた
I know I've winged it a couple times, but the guy did a fantastic job of voicing the character and relaying all that pain that he's lost to all his so-called friends here. Finally someone lands a hit on these monsters and it's our boy Luffy! Oh no, the tables got turned so quickly as well.
島の外まで止め
Just the fact that an overarm throw like this is able to launch him so far. I swear it's made me feel almost ill, if that's even possible. Not only did he block the attack, he launched Zoro out there and he dropped his sword in the process. It's all going to hell. It's slightly off topic here, but have another for showing us the underground here. Clearly I'm guessing people used to live down there and the water level rose maybe?
大都市の市長であれ一市民が巨大な政府に立てつくものじゃない
That was powerful because that's all we've really seen largely up to this point is people leading their own towns and cities, and suddenly we see them say this: we lead the world, not you. It's a Sanji version of the ad break. It's an Usopp version too.
この女麦わらの仲間だ
Nami got out of there, and as always, she had to, but it doesn't stop it from being a win all the same. No idea what Frankie is so upset about, but I just liked the whole little building having been built under a bridge thing here.
なんでお前らが泣くんだよ。バカ！泣いてねえよ、バカ！
Mine sounds silly, but that is so unexpected to me that it's grabbing max wins. The idea that they're there with him, having heard his story and reacting like this, did not see it coming.
そんな厳しさを歌います。
Oda is such a legend that already Frankie, who did some nasty stuff so far, is massively growing on me big time.
茶まだか喉乾いたぞ俺
Real glad to see that somehow Usopp found his way to this place, which will likely have much more defense from the coming waves than where it was.
疲れた泣いてねえけどな
Such a simple win, but a real good one. I'm tired from crying. Wasn't crying though.
じゃあ分かった兄ちゃんあれだ
Nice of him to be calling him brother already. That's pretty cool.
バッチラ少し落ち着けよお前
He really is a unique guy, isn't he? Plus, I'll be real, I'm loving seeing and hearing more from Usopp again, and him being his usual self once more.
なるようになっただけで誰を恨んでもしょうがねえよ
Man, I miss Usopp now more than ever. He's such a nice guy. For context, Frankie said you must be mad about what happened, and this is how he replies.
買っちゃったけどな張り倒すぞ
How come he's such a unique character, though?
てめえらこの野郎
兄貴怒りが湧き上がっちゃったわいな
At the drop of a hat, he then gets super angry because of his people getting beaten up and his home smashed. Kinda makes me think that he's unique in more ways than one. He's loyal to a fault.
俺ならうちで面倒見てやるぜ俺の部下になれ俺はおめえ気に入ったぜ
Being real, I even talk like this. He says it after saying, let's let bygones be bygones. There's something oddly appealing about maybe them becoming friends right now.
イエーイ兄貴
だからバカにしてんのかお前は
I really missed his voice actor so much when he reacts like this. Maybe because it's been quite a few videos by this point?
これから夜中にかけて民家の2階までは海に沈む
Seeing the first serious effects of the rising water levels. Quick win for also finding out that the ship will seemingly be okay there.
今海上に見えている裏町はもともと数百年前にあった古い町のその屋上に建てられた町なんだ
Oh heck yes! That's exactly what I thought was the case. I love lore like this, it's so tasty.
そんな未来の不安さえ取り除いちまったのが海列車ハッフィングトムだ
Again, amazing lore, amazing storytelling, learning that the train is a somewhat new thing. Before this, many residents felt trapped on the island to some degree.
全ては海列車を生み出したトムという偉大な船大工のおかげなんだ
And then perhaps even better, the person who made the train in question is the person that's been spoken about a lot the past few episodes.
場所は割れた
This might be the most I've ever looked forward to doing the next video part, finding out what will happen with Frankie, now with Usopp, and what happened to the rest of our crew. Wow! An homage to the Going Merry that's so lovely it's getting max wins as the new ED. It almost got me tearing up, seeing the best of times and the harsh times together on it. Just a final note here to say once again, I lost quite a few patrons lately. I do really need the support. I don't want to make the series exclusive unless I have to. Any help is much appreciated. Darth Weirdo, Fidji, Mal Liao, Mushwin, Nick Wyndham, The Elementator Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Minimasher, Marquez, Nozomi, Orkeeper, Autobotanisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brendan Greer, Brian Bayard, Cameron, Christopher Tarasa, Commander Cyrus, David Freerix, Devicool, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Guru, James DeFoyer, Yor Edvinson, Kevin Alston, Cumfroig, Miora Night Sky, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Robert Jackson, Ruby Rose, Sataki Ari, Zions 44, Sean, Starkip, Tiger Lily Warrior, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Arnador, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante's Soul, Dante's Face, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Donald Newborn, Dragon Defender, Dragon Boy 1, Drake's Daughter, Iso, Francie, Furious Mo, Garrett Vermeesh, Henrik Jensen, Hoth Losritter, Israel Caldera, Joe Crims, Jason Davies, John, Jaffa 6263, Kai Wolfspring, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevin 102, Knuckle Duster, Cody Niemeyer, Kai 158, Carl Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gagati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Luis Minito, Marvin, Mason Stelfer, Matthew Blansett, Michael Lewis, Miran Ardron, Modavirum, Mr. Firecool, Nathaniel Gigramosa, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, Nuvagown 1928, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Olive Wharf, Onyx Caliph, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Porgy, That's a Fish, Q-Flash, Chris Harris, Rimuru, Rodies, Roll Tide Wes, Ryan DeViri, Sadaholics, Sakumi Iorum, Sarcastic Truth, Shadow Cleanser, Snowy, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Thrasher 340, Tomo Sandy, Vernon Hogan, Wacky Normal, Will Sass, Willyman.